of Time Pass for the New Indian Express. I have with me Manoj Bajpayee, who's had more comebacks than anyone else in history I know in the Indian film industry. Every time people make the mistake of forgetting him, he comes back with such a performance that stuns you, shocks you, and it just sort of, forces you, drags you by the collar to recognize his amazing talent. Whether it was Bhiku Matre in Satya or Sardar Khan in Gangs of Wasseypur or even the Family Man, with every generation he renews himself and he reintroduces himself to every generation of film goers. So I'm really honored and privileged to have with me today Manoj Bajpayee. Thank you so much for joining us, Manoj.
Thank you,
Uh,
Dr. Thank
Thank
you.
you very much. And it's a real privilege to have you with us, especially talking about a film that you've both produced and acted in, Bhosle, which is now coming on Sony Live. But I want to begin, Manoj, with your amazing ability to come back every 10 years and to reintroduce yourself to a new generation of film goers. It's and to actually have become a school of filmmaking by yourself. Very few people know that you're the one who actually introduced Anurag Kashyap and Saurabh Shukla to Ram Gopal Verma and not the other way around.
Right.
And I think your example has been the reason why many actors from the late Irfan Khan to Nawazuddin Siddiqui thought that it gave them the courage to come into the film industry. I have to ask you, what does it feel like to be in that position and yet be so cool about it?
So cool. I mean, it's the journey as you mentioned it in my introduction has never been so easy. It is because the world was changing at a rapid pace, and so was film industry.
Yeah.
When I came in, my first film that I shot for was 1993 for Mr. Shekhar Kapoor, Bandit Queen.
Yes.
And after that, it was a complete lull, for 5 years actually excruciating those 5 years, where whatever I was doing, not doing, everything just not working for me personally, professionally,
Right.
or health-wise. Then I got a chance in Satya, and, so on and so forth. Whatever has happened, uh, with my coming into the film industry with the emergence of Bhiku Mahatri, it has
Yeah.
given a lot of hope to new actors who came from small town, or directors who wanted to do something new with themselves, wanted to tell some new stories.
Hmm.
They somehow found a lot of strength in Satya.
Yeah.
And not only in Satya, simultaneously there was another force coming up was Mr. Maniratnam. Okay?
Right.
And Mr. Shekhar Kapoor has just, his film has created quite a waves internationally, Bandit Queen.
Right.
So, but Satya was a film which nationally it has really encouraged all those filmmakers and storytellers and performers to start, seeing the dream
Yeah.
of doing something new in this industry. That's why I say that all of us should really, collectively thank Mr. Ram Gopal Verma
Hmm.
for generating that kind of excitement and enthusiasm. Uh, Otherwise, in this 98 and before, uh, it was all commercial films. It was,
Yeah.
I still remember that, going to any film studio to meet any director or assistant director for a role, I could only see song and dances being shot,
Right.
or some action scene going on. So
Right.
that was an industry where an actor like me or the face like mine, didn't have any place
Right.
at all. Okay, and then the journey started, journey of saying no, rejecting the villains offers,
Yeah.
uh, and offending the big ones, uh, because we have a very fragile ego in our industry. If you say no to them, especially to a big, they don't forget it so easily.
Yeah.
So taking the risk of saying no to them, taking the risk of saying huge amount of signing amount, uh, Yeah, somewhere I was my resolve was very very strong that I am not going to fall for the villain's role and get forgotten after a few years.
Right.
Let me just wait and find the role that I want to do. And the waiting used to be quite long. Sometimes
And painful, quite
painful.
painful.
Yeah, I mean, uh, all actors in the world, they dream about the kind of first film appreciation that I got.
Yeah.
Yeah, that though it was my fifth or sixth film, they dream about these
The
kind of
kind of love and the kind of adulation that Biku
yeah.
Matre got, it was intense.
Yes, and the performance was very real and realistic. It came and it took everybody by surprise that this
Right.
kind of a performance can happen in this industry, and people were really surprised and shocked to see Satya in totality and all these actors, so real as if they were part of the mafia world.
Right.
Yeah, so the waiting used to be long
Yeah.
between one film to another.
Right.
But those films, either they were doing mediocre business, or sometimes they were doing, fairly good business, but not very good business.
Right.
Uh, Slowly and slowly, this persistent of doing those films till the Pinjar and 1971 didn't attract people's attention. After that, I went down,
Yeah.
because as you know that this industry is heavily box office oriented.
Right.
Okay, and the new filmmakers which were coming in, some of them had different actors, which are fallen in the genre of Manoj Bajpayee, like say KK Menon or say
Right.
Irfan,
Irfan.
yeah. So even KK is or Abhay
Yeah.
Deol, okay. So those films started, doing better business.
And people and directors that you had worked with, Manoj, and
Yeah,
Anurag, or, all
yeah.
these people you knew, you had
Yeah,
worked
I
with.
knew. So I was replaced by this new, new
The
actors.
the new hot things.
Yeah, new hot things. But I didn't mind it, Kavi.
Yeah.
I mean, those 5 years, 6 years of mine, I used it so well. I'm so proud of myself.
Right.
And I never felt frustrated, never felt down. Rather, I was waiting for that one good role to happen to me. And
Right.
finally, I got Rajniti. Okay,
Right.
and my career in terms of you know comeback, as you guys call it, it got resurrected
Right.
again. Okay, that Rajniti's Virendra Pratap Singh, Tarara Jawab, and all
Oh,
that.
that Karara Jawab was really something that everyone latched on to.
Right.
It's very interesting, Manoj. You always have that one liner, whether it's Mumbai Ka King Kong or Karara Jawab, or even in gangs, you have that, what, Byah ho gaya hai aapka?
Keh ke lunga and all that. But
Yeah,
I must assure you this all of these things were completely unintentional.
yeah,
They were said or delivered in the manner that those characters should have said, and
right,
I was completely into I was hell bent on doing justice to the characterization that I've had for these characters.
right,
It was not said. I mean, Bhikkhu Matre says Mumbai ka King Kong in the most unassuming manner, but he
yeah,
flashed onto it. Okay,
yeah,
or say Sardar Khan, when he says "Keh ke lunga," he's only talking about his life, and that too he's talking to his wife,
yeah,
lying on bed. That has become a national anthem. Or Karara Jawab, he's talking to a mass of supporter when he wants to take a revenge.
right.
So all of these things were in the line of the character or the characterization or the requirements of the director. We never thought that these things will become so
Iconic.
iconic. Yeah,
Manoj, you talked about the 5 years before Rajniti came into your life, and that was a terrifically brilliant ensemble cast, and to shine in that, was obviously not easy, but you were all obviously, encouraging each other at some level, and you also had Prakash Jha, who's a pretty good director.
Right.
But those 5 years, Manoj, how did you manage those emotionally, psychologically? I ask this obviously because of Shashank's tragic death. We can't not talk about it, but I ask this in connection with that.
See, I mean, with me, I'm made of a different metal altogether.
Yeah,
Come from a village, left my house at the age of 17, 18, uh, uh, got admission in Delhi University. I dedicated all those years of my stay in Delhi into theatre. I didn't look right, left, or center. Like a blinded uh, horse, I was just walking on my craft and skill and doing theatre, plays after plays, plays after plays. For 9, 10 years, I was in Delhi. It was the most busiest time. I've never been so busy in my life till now. I can say without getting any penny from theatre, with the support of some near and dear ones or the friends, I was only doing theatre, and my focus was to be really good at the craft of acting. I was in love with it. Uh, so that's how I have used my time. Even those 5 years, I was going to my village. I was coming to Delhi. I was doing workshops. I was conducting workshops, getting into the interiors of Maharashtra, knowing people, getting to meet some theater workers. My life used to be filled with that, filled with
right,
activities. Yeah,
right,
filled with activities. The only concern was that my bank, was something which was bothering me, bank balance.
right,
Whenever it bothered me and whenever there was a fairly good role or film, I just gone ahead and done it and again filled up the account and again I was on a tour.
right.
Yeah, so it was a time of self realization,
Yeah,
self assessment,
right,
okay, and never stopping uh, to really brood over it, to really ponder over the lull time of my industry. And also, my after that, my shoulders started giving me a lot of trouble. I could not even move my hand an inch, this
right.
right hand.
What had happened?
So this shoulder got jammed because of some bone development,
Oh,
and this took me 1 year, complete 1 year through physiotherapy to get it back till here.
okay.
So I started gaining weight. All of everything was going wrong.
Right, right,
But uh, if you ask the people who I'm surrounded with, my family, I'm hardly a guy who will stop.
okay.
I don't get stopped by the problems. I just keep on moving, keep on moving, keep on doing things which interest me. I spend a lot of time with my family. We watch films, we discuss, and we have different arguments, and we fight with each other about our likes and dislikes. We talk politics, we talk international politics, we read, we fight over our opinions. So coming to Delhi, meeting people,
Right,
conducting workshops, these were the things that I have done in those 5 years. And when I came out, when I went on the sets of Rajniti, I went there with I feeling empowered,
right,
because I empowered myself all over again.
right,
I changed my actor completely.
right,
It was a time to evolve. It was a time to work on evolution of the actor. And
right,
this is exactly what started showing in coming years.
right,
With Rajniti, Arakshan, Special 26, Gangs of Possible, until now. If you see this choice of films, you see the change of approach,
yeah,
because it is the it is the outcome of those 5 years,
right,
you know, of thinking about it very deeply, of trying to change myself completely,
right,
trying to assess the world, and coming to a resolve to change my approach. So all of these things, I think actors can be really busy. I am not somebody who will sit alone and feel bad about myself for a very long time. I can't.
Right. Right.
That's I'm a different.
Although there was a time when you were very young, of course, where it is said that you contemplated suicide. I think when you didn't get into NSD. Is that so?
So that
You
was a very
tried thrice, I
that was a, that was a very very momentary thing that has happened to me.
right,
But that was the first rejection.
right,
Okay,
yeah,
that was the first rejection I felt after coming to Delhi.
right,
Because I have done loads of theatre before I really applied for MST, and I didn't have Plan B.
right,
Okay, I always took it for granted that I'll be selected. After so many years of hard work,
right,
uh, but that was very momentary. That was
right,
very momentary. Okay, uh, and it kind of I shuddered. I shuddered when I uh, thought about it later on. I completely shuddered with fear as to why I was thinking that.
yeah,
This is not the way to go about.
right,
So with me, the case was completely different. And after that, there was no looking back.
right,
I realized that NSD or no NSD, I have to just go on doing what I set out to do,
right.
and that's exactly what I have done over the years.
So your aim, Manoj, was always artistic excellence because you always find people confused. Should we go for artistic excellence or commercial success? Sometimes it is said that both cannot go together, but they can go together, can't they?
They can go together provided if you focus doesn't you don't deviate from the fact that you have to hone your skill all the time.
Right,
Acting is never a course which just finishes in 3 years.
right,
Acting goes, the evolution goes on because
right.
that's the nature of a human being.
Yeah,
If the, that, if the nature of a human being is changing,
yeah,
if he's evolving according to the circumstances, how can actor be, sitting still and think that he's learned everything, he's done everything,
right,
now he can do anything, any role,
right,
anyway. So that's a false notion about that. Acting is a constantly changing craft,
right,
and you have to keep updating yourself, keep
right,
upgrading yourself.
right. And you can draw nourishment from so many things, isn't it? From life itself, from people around you, from what you read. What are your sources of nurturing your craft?
All of it together,
Yeah,
all of it together. Uh, Watching new films, the films from say US or Poland or Czechoslovakia
right.
or France or Spain, but watching new actors. Look at the new actors now,
Yeah,
on OTT platform.
yeah,
I mean, they have so much to offer,
hmm,
so much to teach you. It's just that you have to be open. You have to be
right,
open to look at the new actors and the changing definition of the craft.
right,
So I am very open to what others are doing. I'm very open to learning from them.
right,
Uh, I don't steal from them, but I learn from them.
right,
I learn and I learn a great deal. The Patar Lok I have seen, I've seen those actors. Oh wow! I mean, I was completely mesmerized
yeah,
by the making of it, by the performance of so many actors, including Jaideep and Abhishek.
yeah,
Uh, and I personally call them up.
yeah,
That's my approach. Call them up,
right,
compliment them. I complimented the directors. I asked for work also from them.
right,
So I'm just in love with this craft, with this medium, and the goal is to constantly grow.
right,
Rest of the things that you mentioned will follow, will
right,
definitely follow,
right.
and there is no end to need.
Yeah,
There is no end to need. Today you want Mercedes, tomorrow you would want Bentley, okay,
right,
okay, or any other expensive car, you
right.
know.
Manoj, we were talking about the system also, in a way. I mean, how much can a person want?
Yeah,
How much can a person need?
yeah. So see, I mean, the my decision was, quite strong that I'm going to be an actor who will be more interested in uh, in really in the craft than any other thing. Then I do acting because I love it. I'm completely in love with acting. I'm
Right.
fascinated with this craft. I do it. I don't do it for big cars. I don't do it for big houses. I don't do it for the validation from people. I do it purely because of my love for this craft. Okay, so whenever there is a new role, there's a new setup, there's a new genre, new director, giving me something which is fabulous, which is challenging, I just go ahead and put all my force behind it,
Right.
so this is what gives me a kick. This is kind of this is so I find it so intoxicating doing Bhosle.
Yeah.
After doing one fairly mainstream film, I can always get into shuffle between uh, genre so easily because purely I'm an actor who wants to do well in all genre.
Right.
Not really. Uh, I'm not judgmental about genre, but I'm really interested in myself as an actor. That's it.
And Manoj, just quickly before we get on to Bhosle again, how important, you said it's not, you're not looking for validation, but at some point, the film awards, the parties, the networks or the cliques or the camps that we hear about, at some level, that does become somewhat important, doesn't it?
No, it doesn't. It doesn't. It doesn't in my case.
Hmm.
You will not find me in the parties of the film parties. Usually, I don't go there. Uh, in the post Bhikkhu Mahatre time, I have attended many parties because I was a newcomer. I thought
Right,
that I thought that you have to go. This is the
right,
way this industry functions.
right,
And then I have realized that we are wasting our time. If I have to drink, I'll drink with some few of my friends.
right,
I can talk to quite freely. I can voice my opinion. We can listen to each other without any pretension, and be ourselves, and have your dinner, and then say bye bye, good night. And next day you start your life the way you do it every day. And after that, I started kind of skipping those parties, started offending few people, few of the hosts. But now I think industry knows that I don't go to the party, so they don't send me invites. Okay, I refuse to belong to any camp.
right.
I know that those camps exist,
Yeah,
but I refuse to belong to those camps. I don't belong to camps. I belong to this industry,
right.
as a whole. But why do you go to that camp? Why should go there? I should get validation from this camp, validation from that. I'm not interested. I know one thing that if the performance is good, film is good, I'll be getting what do you call compliments from everyone, from the camp, from the industry as a whole, from the people. Uh, so yeah, focus was that. I mean, never. Also, I'm not a very insecure person as an actor. I'm not a very. I'm not jealous of anybody.
Right.
I'm not insecure. Sometimes when the going is tough and the bank balance is not showing that great. That time you feel a little bit worried. यार चलो कुछ करते हैं यार ताकि
Uh,
कुछ पैसा आ जाएगा. That's
yeah,
all.
yeah,
That's all.
yeah. So you have all the middle class worries that we have. We also have to look at our monthly
That's
accounts
it.
and say. So in your heart, you're still the boy from Bihar, or the boy who went to Ramjas College. Where are you in your heart? Where are you still,
I
or
don't
the
want to
boy who came to Bombay?
I don't want to sacrifice that boy in me.
Huh.
I don't want to for anything. I don't want to exchange that boy for anything. I, I was telling somebody that I'm not ready to sacrifice my middle class life. I'm not ready to sacrifice uh, my being an ordinary person. Not at all. I love it. I love to get off my car and buy vegetable. I just love it. I love talking to the vegetable vendor. I
Yeah.
love observing him, love interacting with him. I feel
Right.
alive. I feel alive when I'm talking to people
Right.
in the street. I love it much more when they don't recognize me.
Does that happen?
Some mostly because of the mask.
Okay, now.
now,
But
now,
I don't think it must be happening. You're quite recognizable. I think everybody
yeah,
knows who Manoj Bajpayee is.
yeah, you're right. But once I was bargaining with a vegetable vendor,
Huh.
and I bargained very hard. Okay? So when I was bargaining with him a few years back, and he said, "Sir, it is not. It doesn't suit you, sir. Please don't." And that was the last time I bargained with any vegetable guy.
So even he has an image of what a star should be, right?
Yeah.
That is the problem, isn't it? We all become prisoners of the image that somebody has of us.
No, but
So
but you should know how to have fun.
yeah,
Not to take anything seriously. Yeah, I know when even my wife, when I start bargaining for anything that we buy something big and we are all there taking a decision of buying it, and when it comes to deciding about the money, she just sneaks away. She finds it so embarrassing in the manner I bargain, you know. So yeah, I'm still I still value that middle class thing about me. I'm still that middle class person. I'm still that farmer's son who has loads of value for whatever I earn.
right.
The Yeah, I keep giving lectures to my 9-year-old daughter that you can't waste food, you can't waste penny, you can't
Yeah.
waste this, you can't waste that. She keeps getting irritated and annoyed, but but that's the way I am. What to
Yeah.
do? It's a
Yeah.
long journey.
Manoj, just as an aside, I was talking to Nikhil Advani a couple of days ago, and he said that, he remembers the time that he, you, Anurag Kashyap would all stick around in Sudhir Mishra's house because they knew that they would definitely get lunch, one sabzi, one roti, one dal. He said
Yeah,
things were so simple then. And
yeah.
that sense of togetherness that you had back then, he said that still nourishes him and that still defines who he is. Do you think that's really what remains with you?
Oh yes, all those friendship, all those togetherness, still there. It's still there. It's just that we are too busy with our own things. But
Right,
we always take it up from where we've left whenever
right,
we're meeting. And also there's a huge respect for each other,
right,
for each other's accomplishment. Okay, I have great admiration for Rakesh. I have huge respect for Nikhil Advani. Whenever I go to his office and see those people working for this man, I can't believe my eyes. This is the guy I met on the sets of Mr. Sudhir Mishra when he was making this Raat Ki
इस
Subah.
रात की सुबह नहीं.
Yeah. Where I used to go there thinking that they may think of a role for me,
Right,
one day, so. Uh, and Nikhil used to be very sympathetic to me. That's how our friendship started.
right, right.
So yeah, I mean, we are very proud of each other, very very proud of each other.
So let's talk about Bhosle. Manoj, it's a film that you produced as well. What propelled you towards this?
See, when I, 5 years back, 6 years back, when Devashish met me with this script, I was completely, what do you call, fallen over. I said, what kind of writing this? This is
Right,
beautiful writing. It is uncompromising writing.
right,
And still there were elements of it which was holding me so much, as a reader, and also the story of a recluse, retired, uh, um, ill cop, okay,
hmm,
an old man, and this life, and there's a volcano,
yeah,
happening outside,
right,
where the local versus migrant problem is going on.
right,
How they all of them come together face to face. How that trouble or the movement, which he's very reluctant to go to, he starts impacting, affecting him, changing him, or say giving him a purpose in life. It
Right.
is it is married so well. It is blended so well that and that was the day I decided that I have to find a producer for this director.
Right.
And then after that I've seen his one of his short films, and more I started knowing him and his vision, his creativity. I started falling for this guy, Devashish Makiya. And every day, every month, I was talking to people to produce it. Because of my name, they used to come in, but after reading the script, they used to run away.
Right.
In between, we went ahead and made a short film, quite an acclaimed short film, Tandav.
Oh, yes.
Uh, and then somehow, three, four people came together. They made a company. They put in some money from their fund, and then after the 11th day, we didn't have money to shoot, and
Right.
that is when this friend of mine from Delhi, Mr. Sandeep Kapoor, who produced Anarkali Apara,
Right.
he came in with the shooting money.
Oh,
So that it's the making of the Bhosle itself is a book. Itself is a book. We
right.
can write a fantastic book on the making of an independent film in India. You
Yeah.
know, it will be quite a lesson for all the filmmakers who are willing to get into this industry or get into making independent films.
Right. Manoj, just a couple of last questions. Bhosle is also very political, a very political film, just as Aligarh was. Uh, uh, where is your politics? How do you define your politics?
My quality is with the I go with the justice.
Right.
Always. That's one word, you know. And I have always been uh, inspired. I have always taken inspiration from Mahatma Gandhi.
Right.
Justice and the truth. You
Right.
know, these are the two words which are of foremost, important words for me. I weigh everything uh, on this on these two words,
Right.
and so I don't have any side. I don't
Hmm.
have any side.
Hmm.
I will always say, don't please don't drag me to to any right or to any left, or to any center.
Right.
Let me judge it for myself. Let me
Right.
judge it for myself where the truth lies, where the justice lies, and wherever it is, I am on that side.
Right.
So that's how I take my stand on political issues. That's how I take my stand on social issues. That's how I take it. I operate my life. That's
Right.
how me, my wife, and me we operate ourselves.
Right. And if it leaves you in a small minority, it doesn't matter to you.
It doesn't matter. I have always been in the small minority. Rather, I was the only one. So, Ekla Chalo Re is something which has been so true in my life.
Right.
Yeah. So I think if you are if you're really if your resolve is really strong and based on some kind of reasoning
Yeah.
and honesty and truth, you'll find people rallying around you in the end. You know.
Yeah, just the last question, Manoj. What can people expect from Bhosle? It, of course, another power-packed performance from you, but also a sense of quietness that people were surprised by in Aligarh because they were so used to your dynamic and energetic performances. I think when they saw Aligarh, they were blown away by another facet of yours.
Yeah,
Uh,
I mean, this is a very uncompromising cinema.
yeah,
Bhosle, director has not dealt with any scene or any silence of
right,
Bhosle, the character, in any tricky way, or
right,
or he tried to impress the audience. Not at all. If he's silent, he's alone. At times, he wants to. Sometimes Devashish wanted to really tire people out of,
right,
tire people out. Because he goes on showing the monotony, the monotonous life of Bhosle.
right,
And after that is over, and when the local versus migrant noise and the chaos start getting louder outside, that is when he comes out of his monotony.
Right.
But till the monotony of his life is there, you may feel quite monotonous as an audience.
Right.
So it tests you. It tests your patience till the chaos, gets you out completely.
Right. Wonderful. Thank you so much for talking to us, Manoj. Wish you all the best. And we know that there's so many more performances that, will stun us and shock us and, inspire us as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Kaveri. Thank you.